That's exactly right.
Wow.
And Russ said a second, I love Russ commented that all of us for the customer. That's because that's what you just mentioned a moment ago. That is outstanding. I want to make sure that people understood that it's all of us for the customer. It's not me for the customer. It's not just you. It's all of us as a team. Front, back, side, left, right. Does not matter. This operation of a dealership is for clients. Without clients, we don't have a dealership. Without clients, we don't have anything. So the best way to do that is, like he said, introduce if you're a salesperson selling a vehicle, introduce your service department. Go back there, introduce them to the manager, into their parts department, so they all feel comfortable. When you have a client come back to your store every 3-4 months, and they're there for their oil change, they're there for their tire rotation, they're there to have their car inspected, they're there for whatever that you have to offer, because there's stores that offer car washes, everything. So if you have those things, make sure you let your customer know, because what happens is they get to come in. That's another opportunity for you to stay in front of them. A lot of times we don't see a customer for 2-3 years later. Right. Because we never introduced them to the service department. But if they come in every 2 to 3 months, they get in, they get their free cup of coffee, car guy coffee preferably.
That's right.
They get that free cup of coffee, they're drinking on it, and they're sipping. Now they're talking. And I love it because I've seen operations, big dealerships that do so well with front and back, that they work and they operate well, that you see the transfer. You see how the customer will show up for service, but they walk around the whole dealership talking to people.
Right.
Because they know everyone. They feel comfortable like it's their second home. As most men, and I'm sure there's plenty of women out there too, so I'm not trying to generalize this, but most people, they love to go and talk shop with people. When you have your own car, you just bought a new Camaro, you're driving it, you're bringing it in for service, you want to talk shop. Not a lot of people know about a Camaro, but when you're at a dealership, pretty much everybody in there is pretty proficient on the how a Camaro works, what the engine is, what this is. So they get to talk jive. They get to do all the stuff that they don't get to do when they're at home. So it's fun for them to show up, but when they have the right service department, the right dealership, it's a beautiful culture of everything. And that's a great point that you brought up. So
I mean, it's huge. The connection point between making that your lifestyle. Remember, the people in the fixed op side have people that are so excited. Technicians are excited when some of those customers show up with those cars that they've worked on, that they know what's underneath that hood. They know what's out there. They'll stop. They're sitting there cranking a wrench, and whoa, hey, Mr. Jones's, Camaro, his 370Zs here, whatever side you're at, what I mean? Those techs know those cars, and they come out, they get impressed, and that's sometimes what those people do love to come and talk that shop. Wives are like, how many oil changes do you need? Why do you go there so much? And they're like, well, babe, they got good coffee, and I had to get the flim flam on the thing done, so all that's good. I'm going over there now to see my boys. Right? That's a lifestyle thing, and we want to create that environment. And you're saying so many things. I mean, that quote is so huge. I'm sitting there listening to you get ready to even say that, and I'm sure that you've said that before. But that word there, for, that where you're saying we are all for the customer.
Right.
So many times the people that we are servicing, we get positioned as if we're against them, as if we're trying to combat them. Right? We're in the sales side, we're trying to rebut them. We're trying to rebuttal their no. We're trying to get over their limited beliefs and help them to buy. On the service side, we're trying to help them understand you're going to have a bigger problem if you don't handle this one now.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? And it's not you, again, it's not you against them. It is you for them. And I believe that is so key, that mentality shifts, that you're not trying to take $1 out of the customer. This is a profit-making machine. The dealership itself is a big, hungry monster that eats a lot of money and actually has to produce a lot of money. And every single element of that store has to produce. In the finance office, there has to be production. At the parts counter, there has to be production. And that customer is going to always feed that monster based off of what they need inside of their life or their vehicle. But I want to talk about a question that has actually been posed to us, and I want to pass this off to somebody that, on the other side, because I believe that we have to have friends. I always had friends in the back that had my back. If you
I always had
I
had a hookup back there, just like I would hook them up, right?
You know what I mean? You're not going to get what you need, and you're not going to get it timely. So you have to build those relationships, and that was simple. Just take care of the people around you, and you're going to be good. I never understood the fight between sales and service. I'm like, why do you guys have a problem with him? He loves me. You know what I mean?
We call that the yes guy in the back. That's what that sales guy found his yes guy. That's
all right. But see, that's the thing. I didn't want the kind of okay guy that I had to keep bringing that dude. It's back again, man. Right. Why is this car back again? What happened? You know what I mean? You can't do this anymore. You can't take care of my customer. You know what I mean? We would have those scenarios. But this question was asked of us, and I kind of want to see your thoughts on it. What do you think of the sales service advisor hybrid? What is your thought on that as far as being something that is practical inside of our business going forward?
All right, so I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if I know what you mean on that. You're saying a service advisor that's also selling cars?
Correct. So a salesperson that is then also your service advisor on the other side. So that's your car guy. That if you need something done and fixed on your car, well, this guy is going to be the one handling that for you. If you need to purchase another one, he's going to be the same one that's building that relationship. Because that is, again, the biggest key inside of the customer retention period is making sure that relationship to somebody that's hearing you, listening to you, and finding solutions to your problems consistently is welded together right so that you can keep that person with you. So when there's too many changes of hands, and then eventually that customer says, I don't remember speaking to somebody about that, and I don't know what and they don't know who said what. But instead, if you have that salesperson that is also the service advisor, that again, the salesperson is a salesperson.
Yeah. He
can do very well service advising. So what are your thoughts on that actual connection coming together?
Yeah, so that's definitely an interesting concept. That is not something that I think I've ever actually pondered. I can tell you in my departments what I do is a customer gets assigned to a service advisor, so that customer comes in and sees that service advisor every single time. So it's not, I was here 2 months ago and had a problem with my brakes, and I talked to Tony, and now I'm standing here in front of Kyle, and I got to explain the whole thing again. It's the same person. So in their cycle through the dealership, they only deal with that one advisor. And obviously, there's times when that has to change. If there's a day off, if whatever it is, an advisor leaves, and you have to make changes to that. But that creates that synergy there between the customer and the advisor, where they get to build that relationship more. I think it's an interesting thought. I think you would definitely have to have the right environment to make that work, because service advisors are pretty busy during the day. There would have to be some good scheduling to make that work, so that the service customer that was there that day didn't have any loss of focus from their advisor because they were spending 3 or 4 hours trying to complete a car deal. I guess my initial thought on that is I almost like the idea of advisors and salespeople kind of having a team together, type of relationship better. So
I like that.
Yeah, so that it's Tony, and he's got these 2 or 3 salespeople that those 2 or 3 salespeople's customers always come out to Tony in the shop. I think it has some merits, but my worry would be dealerships love cutting costs, and that would be a way for them to go, hey, we can cut a whole ton of costs here, it looks great on the bottom line, but it's not necessarily always the best thing for the customer.
Right. And that's the key. That's why the question's out there. And that question was asked of us by the orange tie guy himself, Jason Harris. He asked us that, and there's so many sides of it so many things that are benefit, so many things that could go wrong. Again, my side of it is the relationship that's with the customer. So ultimately, that person has the one person that they speak to. And I agree wholly that you would set up a team if you wanted to do that, no matter what, because only one person can do so many things. You're right. You could lose that person for 4 hours while they're trying to work a car deal, and you got a bunch of backup going on over here of people that are needing their stuff done. I could see where that would go haywire. But that's just a question that I think we need to take a look at on the side of building that efficiency. Our guys at our lot actually kind of serve as that. We don't have a service department on our side that's available for the customer. So generally, what our salespeople are dealing with is both sides of what's the problem with the car that just got put out. We sell all pre-owned. So eventually, there's going to be something that gets called back. The great thing is that we've put inside of their hand this next sale app, which actually helps to handle some of those customers after the fact for the salespeople. But a lot of times, those salespeople, no matter what the problem is that happens on that car, it's the salesperson's fault. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, the salesperson's getting in there, listening to it, and like, man, I don't know what that was. You know what I mean? I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? And so, of course, that just diminishes the faith that the customer has in the organization as a whole, just because the face they're talking to is in what is going on land and doesn't know how to make that connection. So I just think that the cross-reference in the two would be really cool to see happen. I'd love to see somebody pilot that. But it's just I appreciate your answer on it. That's
a very good answer, because obviously he understands, and he's right. A good service rep is super busy all day long. I mean, it's almost like impossible for them to be able to sell a car at the same time. Can we say that nothing is impossible? That's fact. But I think that would have to be at a smaller level. Like, you would have to be at a store that's not quite as large and is super busy. If you're more in a rural area that has, decent traffic but not overwhelming, you might be able to pull something like that off. But I love the idea of teaming up with the service rep. If you're a sales guy up front, you team up. A 2 or 3 sales guys team up with one rep, and that rep gets all their business. That's to include everything. So every time they come in, say, hey, go see Tommy in the back. Tommy's going to take care of you. Here's his business card. Let me introduce you to him before you leave here today. This is going to be your service rep at this store. Anytime you have any warranty issues, if you just want some upgrades, you come see this guy. He's going to take care of you. Your oil changes. Make sure you come get a car guy coffee while you're here.
And not just on a survey, right? That's the thing on the new car side. The manufacturer understands. All those smart people that made the car and are sending it to the dealership, they get it. These people have to make the connection, introduce them here. That's why it's on their survey. Hey, did they meet service? So there's a way to go about it. I made it my walk over to the service drive and, hey, Fred, this is Mr. So-and-so. Great. I'm great. Cool. Let's move on. Instead of just making it the touch and go so that we can check the block on the survey, making that relationship so important. Having a quick conversation is so key. Enjoying that cup of car guy coffee with your car guys is very important to actually engage that customer for life. Let them know, hey, down the road, this is who you're going to want to talk to, and they are human, and if they'll get to me, any questions you got for me, I'll get to them. Successful salespeople always find a way to make that good bridge for the customer to the fixed ops side. Just make sure that you guys do that.
Love can build a bridge.
Yes.
The Judds. Just saying. Anyway, so we got a lot of great comments. Jake Bishop, he's from Big M Chevrolet. Or excuse me, my bad. Oh my God, I just said that wrong. He's from Bob Book Chevrolet. My bad. I didn't mean that. I did not mean that, Jake. I love you, brother. You know I do. Jake's actually he's a great salesperson. He's doing some amazing stuff. He's growing up, and he's really, really passionate about this business. That's why he's in here making these great comments. I think he understands that. He works at a store that's in Metro Louisville, Kentucky, and they stay pretty busy. They've been a dealership for 60 years. It's one of those places. And they're the 2 guys who own the store now. Is you got Bob Hook Jr. and then you also have David Hook, and they're both just doing some amazing stuff right now. Great people, great local guys.
Jake also puts the microphone in front of them.
Oh yeah, Jake has his own show. They have the 805 live at 8:05 in the morning. They do it like twice a week. I think Mondays and Fridays, which is really great. And they're just growing and doing their thing. So I thank you for being here.
What time is that show on?
I'm not sure.
See what you did there.
I'm not really sure. So, real quick shout out to Jake, man. I appreciate you, buddy. He's been a great follower. He's also a good friend of mine.
And he's been a great guest on the show.
Yeah, he's been a guest on the show. We've had some good conversations, and he's got a young family that he just bought a new house. I mean, all kinds of stuff. So, we're excited for Jake. But let's get to the 5th question, because we've been going through these questions pretty smoothly. So, the 5th question that I'm going to ask you is your greatest reward. You've been doing this for a long time. You really enjoy what you do. I can tell. That's why you talk about it. You're passionate enough to start a podcast. You're passionate enough to interview people. You're passionate enough to come on our show and talk about this business. And I appreciate that so much. But there's always something that there's been something that through all this has been a great reward for you, something that's really been amazing that you've got from all this. What would you say the greatest reward from the car business has been for you?
I'm going to go back to the mentoring side of it. My greatest reward is seeing the people that I have helped along the way progress in their careers, and like Jake have bought their first house, they've started their families, and they've been able to create these lifestyles in part because of things that I've helped them with, and that is my greatest reward. Is whatever money, all that stuff, all that goes away. It's all about what you can feel in your heart, and what you can take with you through the rest of your life. And obviously, money is important. I'll never say it's not important. Money helps you help a lot more people and do a lot more things and have access to things that can help you help more people in the end. And that's my greatest reward, is the people that I have helped along the way, who are now turning and in turn helping others. As David Meltzer says, he wants to help a billion people be happy, and he does that by helping one at a time. That's I'm not going to go for a billion. That's way too many, but if I could get there, it'd be great. But it's just absolutely knowing that I have helped some people along the way.
That's awesome. I love it, and that's the right mentality, the right heart. When you become a servant leader for people and you start to do that, and all you're doing is helping people grow, you're pouring into them. Your cup is so overfloweth that it's kind of, you're pouring into other people. And this brew that you're pouring out to everybody is just the best brew in the world, and they're learning things. Now, they're going to get brews from other people. They're going to get a little sip from somebody else. They're going to learn just like all of us did. But when you get to help and you got to be part of their journey and you got to be part of that is your legacy that you've left. They're going to remember that. Whether they remember the name, whether they remember this, it's still your legacy when you see that they're using your processes or doing things that you suggested, the thing that you taught them, how to talk to somebody, how to look them in the eye, how to, ask for that business, how to do all those things. When you can pass that on to somebody, that's your legacy. And you've done a great job with that. And I know, I haven't met any of your reps, but I can promise you, I got a feeling they love you. And I got a feeling they really enjoyed working with you and learning from you. I got a feeling you probably are that guy that was very, this is how it is. You guys should do it this way. You probably opened this stuff, but you were very like, let's make this happen, right? And people either appreciated it or they were just like, I like freestyling it. No, it's cool. And we all want to learn from everybody we work with, right? Whether they're the first day guy or they're the 20-year guy, there's always something to learn. It's funny. I had a manager was talking. I can't remember who it was, but they were like, "Yeah, I can't stand it when a new guy walks in here and he tells me we should do it this way."
Oh no! Oh my goodness! you know those 10 steps. I was thinking we should probably make a change over. Just like
you can appreciate that they want to see things different and that they have a different set of eyes.
That's it exactly.
Right. But it depends on how they approach that. We should do it differently. Right.
Oh man, the key with all of this, car guys, car gals, and all of those of you that are actually listening and taking this in, because of course we want to make sure that we entertain you. So this edutainment that we're putting out here is designed to help keep you upshifted, uplifted, laughing. But there's some key things, key questions that we're kicking around here. And you're going inside of a dealership today. You're going out there and you're trying to find a way to help your customer, right? Our entire brand, where we go to work every day and we stamp it on our chest, is for the people. Yep. And Dave said, it's all of us for the customer. And remember, when the dealership was started, when the dealership opened, when the dealer opened it up, it wasn't necessarily just to make a profit happen for themselves and for all the other people that work for them. It was to find a way to solve a problem for somebody, right? This is the profession. This is what we can give a customer, is a good automobile that works. And when it does fault, when it does break, a good relationship to help put that back together so that we can keep them on the road. Folks, the auto industry is the actual, one of the biggest recycling industry. We have the biggest recycling of any industry We are that. A car goes through so many hands, and there's so many parts that get moved on, right? And help to keep this industry going. It's so key that we find our way to keep evolving and keep shifting to the way that the customer is going to be happy, and not just happy, but actually taken care of. And I believe that the two of those will actually come together. And we're so thankful that we have a solutionary like Dave in here that helps us to see it from the other side. But remember, that heartbeat has to be the same. It's for the customer. It's always for them.
I mean, because once again, without a customer, what do you have, folks?
Not a thing.
You don't got a job.
That's right.
You're only working when you have somebody in front of you. It's like I always tell that to my guys. I'm like, as a salesperson, in the front, I'm sure it's like that with anywhere, any business period that deal with people. Is that when there's no one in front of you, you're unemployed. Right. So whether even if it's just a phone, you got to be on the phone with the client. You got to have a client in front of you. But if you're just standing around doing nothing, you're unemployed technically. And that's the craziest thing about this business. If you really think about it that way, that's exactly the facts. Some people get paid hourly, but most don't make. They make 100% commission. A lot of people do. And if you're not working, you're not making money. If you don't have somebody in front of you, you don't have that opportunity. And a lot of people are like, well, they're not going to buy. I have people in front of me that can't buy. Well, that person knows people that can buy. That person may be able to refer somebody to you, so you treat them with respect. Mm-hmm. It's because it is the people. Without them, you don't have anything. Whether they could buy or not, you could even coach this person on how to buy a car in the next 6 months. This way, they can come back and see you in 6 months. But if you don't spend that time and really treat people right, and treat them like you would if it was your own kid or your brother or your sister or your mom or your dad, whoever it is, that's how you treat your clients. You treat them like that whether you have them in service. You treat them like that whether you have them up front, in parts, whatever it is. You treat them like it's your friend, your family. Because if you do that, they're going to understand that. Whether they buy from you that moment or not, it doesn't matter. They'll remember that. Because most people, it's crazy to say it, but most places don't do that. A lot of people don't. Let's say maybe they have that process in there, but we are human beings, and we all go through emotions. So sometimes we come in on the wrong side of the bed, and we don't do it right. You have to leave that at the door. If you're not feeling right when you get to work, you have to get to work, and you have to be like right when you open that door, all of a sudden you're like, sunshine. You can be like, oh, I hate this. As soon as you open that door, sunshine. And that's exactly how. It's funny to say that, but that's how I walk in my showroom every single day. I could just be like, oh my God, I'm so tired. As soon as I open that showroom door, and I have one salesperson see me, because I'm a leader and I have to be a leader. As soon as I open it, I'm sunshine. What's up, guys? How you doing? Because I want them to feel that. Because everything starts from the top down. If the leadership isn't on board, the worst thing is when you go to a dealership and you see management and leaders who say they understand the process, but like, we don't need to do that today. No, that's bad. You always do it the right way. Never shortcut yourself. So, and Dave is a big proof of that. And I appreciate you for being here. Now, I don't know how much time do you have, Dave. I know we're right at the hour mark now.
I'm good. Okay,
cool, great.
Awesome.
I want to do
fresh news. The 5-liner. We want to go to the next level. We want to go ahead and get some fresh news.
I do. I want to talk about his show. I want to talk about a lot of stuff. So I want to get that out there so people can hear about it.
We've understood that this guy right here is 100%
Car Guy Coffee approved. You know it.
Big boy. Thank you so much for joining us on this 5-liner. We're going to be right back after you just take a look at this coolness that we have from Elite FI. These are some great, cool guys that we're excited to be brewing solutions with. And
yeah, that was loud. But hey, that's Elite FI Partners, folks. www.elitefipartners. Michael Offmuth, Amelia Offmuth. It's a great company, growing really fast. And they're just there to help people. They're solutionaries, much like Dave, much like us, much like everyone we've had on the show. Great people, great sponsors, great human beings. Make sure you guys reach out to them. I love them. So fresh news, man. We got this fresh news. Fresh news is all about you, Dave. We want to talk about what's going on. I want you to talk about your podcast, how people can get a hold of you, what you have to offer, what's going on. Let's talk about that. So let's talk about the podcast first. Let's go. Yeah. What's that all about, my friend?
Yeah, Fixed Ops Mastermind podcast.
Did we lose?
I muted myself by mistake.
There you go.
Sorry.
There you go.
Rookie mistake.
And we're back.
Fixed Ops Mastermind podcast. Obviously, by the title, we do concentrate a lot on the back of the house. But I am looking to make this a podcast about everything that goes into what it takes to be a leader. And that doesn't matter whether you're making widgets, fixing cars, or putting plants in the ground. Doesn't matter. Leading people is leading people, and there's a lot of things that go into that, from taking care of your nutrition to taking care of your mindset, taking care of your outlook, and obviously taking care of the leadership side of it. And the podcast, I've talked to people who are mindset people. I've talked to nutrition people, and it doesn't matter. It's all about making you an all-around leader. Leadership is not a skill. And I posted about this the other day. It's not a skill. It's something a way that you carry yourself, that you embody yourself, so that people want to put their trust in you. And that's what the Fixed Op Mastermind is all about, is getting that out there and helping people become better leaders.
Wonderful reason. I see you. It's amazing how things evolve, isn't it, Dave? When you're doing things and you start things, your ideas start here, but they start to grow. It's amazing how business is just like life. How growth is just like everything we've been through in life. When you can put one thing to the next and you see the evolution of things. Like you see, okay, well, when I was growing, we all knew when we were kids, I was probably like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be this, right? Then as we get older, we start going, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing 8 years of school, but it sounds great. Right. I don't know if I want to really cut somebody open. I don't know about that, right? So, it's those things start to change in us and we start to evolve, but that reason why you wanted to do that was still there, and then you start to realize, well, I can still have those same reasons of why I want to do this, but I'm going to change it to this. Now, Fixed Ops Mastermind, top 200 right now. I love it. I love that you're growing, and soon enough it's going to be top 100. Next thing you know, we'll be talking about top 10, maybe number 1 in the world, right? Hey, got to have goals. You got to reach for it, and those things are all possible because somebody's number 1, somebody's in the top 10, somebody's in the top 100, right?
Yeah.
Why not you? Especially
why not me?
When you have passion. And I love what you're talking about. When you're talking about, this isn't just about fixed ops, it's about leadership. It's about how to become a good leader. Because, like you said a second ago, leadership is not a skill.
Come on.
Right? Nope. It's not. The thing, process is a skill, I guess. But, when it comes to being a leader, that's something that it's inside you. It's something that exudes out of you. That's not a skill. That is a personality trait. That is a aura. That is a mentality, right? These things are very, very important when it becomes a leader. Now, there's a lot of people who are great at being a sales rep or being in the team, but when they step up to the leadership role, they fall apart. Because it's not something you could teach somebody. It's something they have inside them, and I think we've all seen it. We have that new guy that walks on the floor, and you're like, he's going to be a leader one day. That guy's going to just feel it, exudes of it, just pours out of their pores. Like you could just smell it almost. You're like, this dude, wow. Or this girl, I should say. I apologize, lady. I didn't mean it that way. But you know what I meant. Like, much respect to everyone. but like, when you see it, you're like, wow, I see something here, and this is amazing. I can't wait to watch this grow. Much like you mentioned a moment ago in the 5-liner, you said, your greatest reward is watching people and they're doing amazing things and they're growing. And that's what that is. When you get to see that and you get an opportunity, you're like, here's one that I'm going to be able to mentor up into something beastly, right? I'm going to have a lot of fun with this person. So it's I have a guy like that at my store. I have a few guys like that at my store, but one that points out to me is Patrick Jennings. And this guy is just overall wanting to grow I've never seen a guy who comes to work every day to grow, help people. And he's trying to get better every single day. He takes the tongue lashings better than anyone I know when he messes up. But, it's to the point where I absolutely love the guy and I love watching that. So I can't wait to see him 10 years down the road too,
And that's what's key about anybody that does get
he's a leader too. Yeah.
A person is going to be successful depending on how they take, retain, and apply correction. I can quote the Bible all day in so many aspects of everything that we hit. But how a person takes correction is how you're going to develop maturity and how you're going to get better. You can either resent it or hate it, but inside of the skill that is sales, because sales is a skill. Great mentor of ours, Matt Damos, is very clear about saying, look, sales is a skill and you can learn it. And I've seen that because there's so many people that we've taken and plucked out of different jobs and turned them into great salespeople. right? That's never what was on their scope. They were never looking at that. So many people in the car business have degrees in stuff they do nothing with. And they have applied the skills.
There you go.
I'm
one of them.
But the heartbeat of a leader, that is something that is something that beats organically, that is God-given to you. I believe leadership is ordained by heaven itself. And so no matter what level it's at, I believe that it has to be in line with where it is that you want to go, because a leader is going to take people somewhere. No matter what happens, that leader is going to take somebody somewhere. So it could be on a negative path, or it could be on a positive
Very much
path.
so. Yeah, you're right.
And so wherever that leader is positioned, make sure that as you do select them, as you do put them in place, that they're going where it is that you want to go, and that you're clear about what it is that they're aiming at. Because people are going to get around them no matter what. Because again, it's not a skill. People are going to gravitate towards you, and they're going to follow you no matter what. And it's exciting that we have people on all sides that can attest, that can give a foot stomp and amen right to that. Like Brian, leadership is God-given. I mean, again, it's so ordained, it's so put in order. I mean, the father is to lead the family. The relationship that a person has with their leader is always so key in the development that can happen to them. And it's awesome that right now we are developing this coaching mentality throughout every industry. Everybody's becoming a coach.
No doubt.
Right? Because the coach gets the best out of the player, right? And says things that maybe the player doesn't want to hear, but it's always on the side of, I want to help adjust you so that you can get your goal accomplished. Your goal is what matters.
That's it.
Right? And the coach is never actually the one scoring it. You know, I'm not the one that really makes the car deal happen. I know the importance of it.
But does a coach make a difference, folks?
Oh, yeah.
And it does. You could look at all you got to do is look at almost every pro sport out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that one coach that dominates, wins most Super Bowls, like Bill Belichick, right? Then you got the Phil Jacksons of the day. You know, you the Popoviches. You know, all those people. There's a reason why they're winning more games, why they're winning more championships, why their teams meld better, because they are great leaders. Right? And it's not something they were taught. These guys, we've seen a lot of people get taught how to be leaders. They come into place and it doesn't work. It doesn't. Right. You see it all the time. You know, you can see children of leaders, ex coaches that come into the sports game and then they don't do like their father did. It's just there's something about that. So having that inside you is key. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that have it inside them and it's great. There's a lot of people who don't and they became leaders, and then you could walk into a dealership, it's failing. It's always going to be the leader. That's the reason why. It's nothing to do with their salespeople.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's nothing to do with their product. It's nothing to do with this. It's all to do with the leadership and how they act. If they're negative, if they're just constantly like blaming everybody but themselves for all the issues, that store's failing. And that's the quickest way to be able to. I used to consult dealerships across the nation. Alluded to. We used to go in, and you could tell as soon as you walked in, you're like, oh man, this leadership here is horrible. It's bad.
Yeah. And that's the hardest talk to have.
It is.
Because they're the ones that called you in there to help.
What the problem is? We found it.
It's you.
Yeah, it's you.
Buddy. I'm sorry. It's either you need to change your mentality or you just need to step down and let somebody else come in there. You'll make more money and the store will make more money. And that's the way it is, when you have the right leader. And, Paul Maher, he says, my fixed op brother, Dave Foy. What up?
What's up, Paul?
I love Paul. We just had Paul on the show recently, too, and he's a great guy. I was on his Sunday Night Live. Great show, too. But I tell you, there's a lot of great car guy shows out there, guys. Fixed Ops Mastermind, amazing. Make sure you guys check that out. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Dave. I've been a fan of Dave since we first started connecting on social media. I follow all his stuff. I like what he's doing. I love the people he's bringing in. He's bringing information that's really key, not just in fixed ops, but like he said, in leadership. He's not just there's a lot of things like it's like he said, it's not a skill, but you can change your mentality to become a leader. But you have to understand, like our show, we do these 5-liners for people to hear how you got to where you're at. So people can say, hey, I was there before too. I could do this, right? We want people, we want it to spark people's brains. Right. Now, to become a leader, it's your brain can be changed and you can become a leader. It's because you weren't a leader once doesn't mean you can't be a leader again. You just got to have an opportunity. You just have to fix yourself a little bit. You have to, like he's talking about, sometimes it has to do with nutrition. Sometimes you don't understand how eating right foods will help you keep you in a better mindset, helps you have more energy throughout the day, helps you so much by eating right, working out, doing these things. So I love that you brought that point up because it's not just about knowing how to do it. It's about your body feeling it, because you can know when you go to work, you feel like crap, you don't want to do anything. Your body reflects how you feel on the outside a lot of times. When you feel like when we all have colds, how do you feel? You're like, I don't want to do nothing. Blow your nose, right? So it's the same thing. So keep yourself healthy, eat right, do those things, because for one, it's going to increase your life. For one, two, you're going to feel better every day. You know,
right? The end result of how you are as a leader is number one, a set of values that you've worked through for your whole life, and it's all those things together, right? It's your nutrition, it's your mindset, all of that stuff comes together to produce the leader that you can be. And look, people want to be led. At the end of the day, that is a true statement. People want to be led. People need to be led. There's a reason that society exists the way that it does, right? There is that I'll use the word hierarchy, but it's not what I'm looking for, because as a leader, I don't put myself above anybody else.
I believe like the word would almost be like order. There is an order to it.
Yes.
You know? And it's key that order gets in place, because leadership is also a timing thing. Again, I believe it's ordained by heaven, and heaven is outside of time, space. It's outside of all of that.
There is no time.
Right. And so in our end, in this life, right, in this realm, we have to come in order, but sometimes it's in timing, right? So I'm going to trust my son to drive a car, my daughter to drive a car, and I could have a car sitting waiting for them, from the day they're born. But there's a time that they get the chance to leave that giant vehicle, right? There's a time that comes in time. And so many times we have new people in the business. I know that I got really caught up inside of it, right? The hardest thing I had to learn in the business was do not take a position over pay. In a lot of cases, I've also taken the great experience of a different position to help me understand how to get better, right, and at pay. And getting those things out of the way inside of an industry where you can create your own future. And we're so thankful for an industry that has helped us to take something and take nothing and create something big out of it, and create great relationships and create a great legacy. And it's so important that we enjoy the time that we're in. If you're a leader or a future leader, keep listening. Keep listening to people like Dave that are giving you these nuggets, that are pouring in these deposits of encouragement to help you understand that the time will come for you to lead. But just understand, as a service advisor or a salesperson, you are a leader already. If there's a customer sitting in front of you, standing in front of you, you're leading them.
And you always have opportunity.
That's what you're doing.
And it's always opportunity to get better at it. I love that you brought that up. It's exactly right. If you're a service, you have somebody in front of you, you're a leader at that point. You need to be a leader. Don't be the uncertain guy. Be that certain guy. Be that guy that knows your job. Be that guy that makes the customer in front of you, or whoever's in front of you, feel comfortable in whatever you're doing. If you're going for a walk down the street, make them feel comfortable. If you're going, there's so many ways to be a leader. Be a leader. Be a leader. So Dave, real quick before we go, I know that we're running short on time, but I want to hit you with one last thing. All right. Yeah. And I want to do a car guy confession session.
Oh yeah.
I want you to tell a story about something that's happened in your career that you've seen that was funny. And we get a lot of the car guy confession sessions about car sales. I want to hear about the back shop.
Yeah.
Something funny that happened that you either learned from or something that you just found completely hilarious. Let's get that. I'm gonna get that information.
There's a lot of things that happen in the back.
Yeah, I guarantee it. I got it.
He's like, what was that? What was that sound? What just happened?
It's funny on the sounds because you hear noises all day long, right? But you have that one sound that is different that makes your head go, "What was that?"
Because half the time you already know exactly what that was. It sounded exactly like we just got.
Wasn't a good sound. All right, so this was definitely not funny to the person that it happened to, their property that it happened to. But coming to the end of a day, there is that sound in the shop that is not good. And as I heard the sound and turned to see what it was, I saw the lift arm kicking out from under a car. The sound that I heard was the lift arm kicking all the way out and hitting against the stop, but it was in the air, so it sounded much different. And then the car teetered, and then the front lift arm kicked out, and it teeters back the other way, and the car comes down. And this Chevy Corsica came.
Oh man!
This thing came down and rebounded all the way back up to then hit those lift arms with the roof, crunch the roof, and then come back down to the ground. Happened to be, this is not a good relationship builder in the store, happened to be one of the salesman's daughter's car.
It just gets better. Wow.
Yeah. Wasn't good. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was hurt. The technician had walked away from the car to go to parts, so nobody was anywhere around it. But man, it was one of those at the time not so funny. Obviously you're worried about someone being hurt. You're worried
laughing,
about.
though. Somebody was laughing. Somebody was somewhere hiding around like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no. Well, there were techs that were laughing that thought that was pretty funny because they're not the one that has to deal with the mess. But to look back on it and to watch that car do this little dance. And then bounce all the way back up. I didn't know a car could bounce that high. That was pretty funny.
That's a good one.
That's I'm sure, given some time. I mean, you're talking a 30-plus year career in the back of the house. I'm sure I could come up with some other things, but
we'll save that for when you come back on the show.
We'll get that
we love to do follow-up shows, and that's going to be one of our series we're going to come out with. And obviously, we'd love to have you back on the show eventually one day too. We could talk about your show once it hits the top 100, which is happening soon.
Woo, that's coming. It's coming.
It is. I know you're working hard towards it, and whatever I can do to help. Let us know. We do appreciate you, man. Dave, you have a great day.
Yeah. I do want to hit one thing real quick because I see it here, and I've seen it on your page, but now that we're going to have to do it because I'm a car guy that loves mine, but we are uniting doodle dads around here. And I can't say that I've ever loved a dog like I love my doodle. And doodle dads unite. That would have to be a car guy confession session for you, too, that you're a doodle dad.
So I'm going to move my camera.
Check them out.
Oh.
There's my co-host.
Yeah. Doodle dads unite.
I walk into this office, and he comes in and hops in his chair. And he sits there until I'm done. As soon as I shut the light off, he gets up and walks out with me. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Your sidekick, I did see him in the back when his head popped up for a second.
Oh, yeah.
What's up? All right, cool. Yeah, he's got a doodle. My brother's actually got one, too.
That's right.
My brother's got the black one. He's got a gold.
Evan Bowles has doodles. I mean, we've had doodle dads on this show. You know what I mean? It's becoming a thing.
Yeah. They keep trying to get me to get one, but I already have 2 dogs. So
he is a golden doodle, believe it or not.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
A tan golden doodle. Yeah, standard size.
He's a giant. That's an 85-pound golden doodle.
Whoa. Wow.
He's
awesome, though. Awesome.
And when we got him, the woman was like, probably 50 pounds or so they'll top out. He just kept growing and growing and growing.
There's a Cap One rep, Marcy. She saw my doodle when I first had him, and I had him as a baby, right? And she went to go get a mini. Well, now he's 60 pounds, right? So sometimes they come out a little different, right?
Not quite a mini doodle,
But I got to say, I love mine.
So, we call this guy Kramer because he comes running into the rooms and slides on the floors, and
I love it.
I love it. Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much, Dave.
Thank you so much, Dave. You go off. You have a wonderful day. For all you all out there, if you're trying to get a hold of Dave, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Pretty easy to find on LinkedIn. It's Dave Foy, Fixed Ops Mastermind on LinkedIn, and fixedopsmastermind.com if anybody wants to get access to the Tuesday night meeting, Tuesday night leaders meetings. That is a paid mastermind. I don't want to surprise anybody. That is a paid meeting group. But other than that, Fixed Ops Mastermind on all your podcast apps. You can find us and get all the free information you need.
That's so awesome, man. And I appreciate you for being here this morning. Hope you had a good time. I know we did.
It was awesome.
Folks, all y'all out there, make sure you reach out to Dave. He is an amazing person. Give him some love. Give him some likes. Share his stuff. Make sure you connect with him if you're not already connected with him. He is the man. Appreciate you so much for being here. Every one of y'all who came on, thank you so much. From everybody from Paul, Jake, Brian, Joseph. I mean, there's so many names I can't list them all. Jason, I keep going. Appreciate y'all for being here.
Solutionary.
Thanks for the comments. For all y'all who are watching this after we recorded it, you can still make your comments. We'll reply to them, and if there's something that you have a question for Dave, I'll send it to him, or you can just message him personally. Folks, we appreciate it. Everyone out there, you guys move forward. Keep growing, forgive, focus, flying, and you do all those things that you need to do to get better every single day. Don't forget that it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It's all about what you're doing right now. Right. It's all that matters. Whatever happened yesterday, you can forgive all that. You can move forward. Take action right now, folks. Be the best version of yourself. That's all that's about. Have fun with life. Smile. Do all those things that everybody needs to be doing in this world. I know this world's crazy right now, but it's no more crazy than it was a year ago, folks. It's just that we just have different things to think about. That's
Looking for leaders.
Looking for leaders. Be a leader.
Yeah.
That's it. So
thank you so much. Cheers to you, brother.
Cheers
Thank you for joining us. And we can't wait to have you back. We can't wait to meet you and just get the chance to brew some solutions with you in the future. But you've inspired us. Got my mind spinning, and I'm just excited on this brew and to listen back to it again and again. Again, car guys, if you're looking to brew solutions, check us out at the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. Listen to everything that's on there. So many great solutionaries, just like Dave, have said some great things on the microphone with us, and nuggets that you can put and practically apply to your business today. So if you're truly looking for solutions, there's no excuses. Make moves towards the podcast. Make moves towards Dave. Make moves towards anybody that's actually going where you want to go. We encourage you. Make big things happen. Car guys, car gals. I am Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
And I'm Fred Lenart, the Subprime Hero.
And you have been brewing solutions with Dave Boy.
Car Guy Coffee Mastermind. Thank you so much. You guys have a good one.